be discussing about the circle of Willis as well as the venous drainage of brain. Now this circle of Willis, you are already familiar with the circle of Willis. What is it? It is a polygonal arterial channels situated at the base of the brain around the interpeduncular fossa, and this is formed by a pair of internal carotid arteries and a pair of vertebral arteries. Vertebral artery, that is the branch of the first part of the subclavian artery. It after entering the cranial cavity, it forms the basilar artery, and the basilar artery divides into posterior cerebral. Terminal branches are the posterior cerebral artery. Now this posterior cerebral artery forms the posterior boundary or completes the circle of Willis from the posterior aspect. Now the internal carotid artery lies laterally, and the branches from the internal carotid artery, that is the posterior communicating artery, passes backwards and medially and joins with the proximal part of the posterior cerebral artery, and thus it completes the circle of Willis from the posterolateral aspect. Now laterally there is internal carotid artery as well as one of the terminal branch of the internal carotid artery, that is the middle cerebral artery. Now anterolaterally the anterior cerebral artery, the branch of the one of the smaller terminal branch of the internal carotid artery, passes anteromedially, and thus it forms the anterolateral boundary of the circle of Willis, and from the anterior aspect it is completed by the anterior communicating artery which joins the right and left anterior cerebral artery with each other. So that is how the circle of Willis is formed. Now few points about the circle of Willis. As I said, it is a polygonal and anastomotic channel formed by right and left internal carotid arteries and right and left vertebral arteries. It receives the 1/6 of the total cardiac output. The brain receives 1/6 of the total cardiac output, and 1/5 of the oxygen consumption. The total consumption of the body is by the brain. 750 ml of blood circulates through the brain per minute. Now occlusion or stoppage of this blood supply even for 10 seconds can lead to loss of consciousness, and if it extends about 1 minute, it can result in irreversible damage to the neurons. Now you have heard of carotid siphon, that is the S-shaped curve of the internal carotid artery because of its different course. Now the cavernous sinus part and the intracerebral part together forms an S-shaped or S-shaped curve. That is in the cavernous sinus it passes forwards along the floor and the medial wall of the cavernous sinus, and then it turns upwards at the anterior part of the cavernous sinus. It pierces the meningeal layer of the dura mater and comes out medial to the anterior clinoid process, and then immediately that forms the cerebral part. It immediately turns backwards, and then it turns up to divide into its terminal branches, that is middle cerebral artery and the anterior cerebral artery. And now this curvature is what is the function of this loop? It dampens the arterial pulsation so that it can provide a steady blood flow to all parts of the brain. So it equalizes the blood flow to different parts of the brain. Now normally there is no blood flow from right side to the left side through these anastomotic channels, but when there is occlusion, the blood crosses the midline and then it communicates through the communicating channel so that it can maintain the blood flow, uniform blood flow to both the sides. Now thus it acts as a principal collateral to preserve the blood flow in normal as well as when there is any blockage to the any of the vessel contributing to the formation of circle of Willis. Now the circle of Willis, we have already explained that what are the branches: posterior cerebral artery from the posterior aspect, posterior communicating artery, posterolateral aspect, and it is a branch of the internal carotid artery. There is middle cerebral artery laterally, then there is anterolaterally, the anterior cerebral artery anteriorly by the anterior communicating artery, and this is the internal carotid artery. Now the branches, the circle of Willis has two types of branches, the central branches and the cortical. That is how the brain is supplied, two sets of arteries, central branches as well as the cortical branches from the individual cerebral arteries. Now the central branches, it has four groups of central branches: the anteromedial group, anterolateral group, posteromedial group, and posterolateral group. Now this anteromedial and anterolateral group pierces the anterior perforated substance and supply the deeper aspect of the brain. Posteromedial group and posterolateral group pierces the posterior perforated substance and enters into the deeper aspect of the brain and supply the different structures. Now the anteromedial group is formed by the branches arising from the anterior communicating artery as well as anterior cerebral artery. Anterolateral group is mainly formed by the branches arising from the middle cerebral artery, and also it is contributed by the branches from the initial part of the anterior cerebral artery as well as the recurrent branch of the anterior cerebral artery. So anterolateral group is mainly formed by the middle cerebral artery, also contributed by the anterior cerebral artery and the recurrent branch of the anterior cerebral artery. Posteromedial group is formed by branches from the posterior cerebral artery and posterior communicating artery. Posterolateral group is formed by the branches from the posterior cerebral artery. Now these branches in a table format and which area it supply. Anteromedial group, it supply the formed by the anterior communicating artery, anterior cerebral artery, pierces the anterior perforated substance, supply anterior part of the hypothalamus and corpus striatum. Now the anterolateral group formed by the middle cerebral artery, anterior cerebral artery, recurrent branch of the anterior cerebral artery, pierces the anterior perforated substance and supply the corpus striatum and internal capsule. Posterior group, posteromedial group, it formed by the posterior communicating artery and posterior cerebral artery, pierces posterior perforated substance, supply hypophysis, hypothalamus and midbrain. Posterolateral group formed by the posterior cerebral artery and it pierces the posterior perforated substance, supply posterior part of the thalamus and geniculate bodies which are present at the beneath the pulvinar part of the thalamus. Cortical branches we have already explained, we have already discussed with the individual cerebral arteries. The diagrams you should draw here if it is asked as a circle of Willis. Supralateral surface mainly by the middle cerebral artery. The branches are orbitofrontal, the pre-Rolandic, Rolandic, anterior and posterior, parietal, anterior and posterior, temporal. The lateral branches of the posterior cerebral artery also comes to supply the supralateral surface, especially the area beneath the parieto-occipital sulcus, the occipital lobe and inferior temporal gyrus. A narrow strip along the upper part of the supralateral surface up to the parieto-occipital sulcus is supplied by the branches from the anterior cerebral artery. Now on the medial side there are two main branches. One is the anterior cerebral artery, the other one is the posterior cerebral artery. Posterior cerebral artery, the medial branches supply the occipital lobe, the medial surface of the occipital lobe, that is the parieto-occipital and the calcarine branches. The anterior cerebral artery branches, it passes along the curvature of the corpus callosum. The branches are orbital branches, frontopolar towards the frontal pole, frontal branches, smaller branches, then pericallosal branch and callosum marginal branch, and to the posterior part of the parietal lobe, parietal branches. Now about the venous drainage of brain. The venous drainage of brain is by veins. The veins are thin walled and they are devoid of valves, and there are three. It is divided into three sets. The veins draining from the cerebrum, veins draining the cerebrum, veins draining the brainstem, and veins draining the cerebellum. So it is divided into three sets. Now the veins draining the cerebrum, it is again divided into superficial group and deep group. Now the superficial group again divided into three sets: superficial cerebral vein, then the superficial middle cerebral vein, and the inferior cerebral veins. These are the three groups of the superficial cerebral veins, superficial veins draining the cerebrum. Now the superficial cerebral veins, which is about 8 to 12 in number, and it lies on the supralateral and the medial surface of the cerebrum. It drains into the Now this is the superficial cerebral veins. It passes from the medial surface and from the supralateral surface, drains into the superior sagittal sinus. Now this veins, as it terminates into the superior sagittal sinus, it passes through the subdural space for a short distance. So in case of any rupture of the superficial cerebral veins, it causes subdural hemorrhage because of this long course in the subdural space. Now there is the second set is the superficial middle cerebral vein. This lies in the posterior ramus of the lateral sulcus. It drains into the cavernous sinus, but also it communicates with the superior sagittal sinus as well as the transverse sinus through the superior anastomotic vein and inferior anastomotic vein. Now the third set is the inferior cerebral vein, which lies over the inferior surface. Inferior surface is divided into orbital surface and tendorial surface. Now from the orbital surface, it drains into sphenoparietal and cavernous sinus. Tendorial surface, cavernous sinus, superior petrosal sinus, and transverse sinus. So these are all about the superficial veins. Now about the deep veins. So this is a flow chart of the superficial cerebral vein, superficial cerebral vein, superficial middle cerebral vein, and inferior cerebral vein. Superficial cerebral vein, 8 to 12 in number. It drains into superior sagittal sinus. As I said, because of its long course in the subdural space, rupture can cause subdural hemorrhage. The superficial middle cerebral vein lies in the posterior ramus of the lateral sulcus, drains into cavernous sinus. Also communicates with the superior sagittal and transverse sinus via superior and inferior anastomotic veins. Now from the inferior cerebral veins, it from the orbital surface, and tendorial surface. Orbital surface, it drains into sphenoparietal sinus and the cavernous sinus. Tendorial surface, cavernous sinus, superior petrosal sinus, and the transverse sinus. So this is all about the superficial veins. Now about the deep veins. Three sets are there: internal cerebral vein, basal vein, and great cerebral vein. Now this internal cerebral veins are 2 in number from the right side and from the left side. Now how this internal cerebral veins are formed? Now internal cerebral veins are formed by the joining of thalamostriate vein and the choroid vein, and also contributed by the septal vein from the septum pellucidum. Now these three veins join to form the internal cerebral vein on each side, and this internal cerebral veins join together forming the great vein of Galen. Now there is a pair of basal veins which passes backward and then join together and and it terminates in the great cerebral vein. Now the great cerebral vein is a single vein about 2 centimeter long, formed by the joining of internal cerebral veins, and it lies beneath the splenium. Now it drains into the straight sinus. It terminates into the straight sinus. Now this is all about the deep veins draining the brain. Now the other parts, that is the brain stem, in that midbrain, pons, medulla and cerebellum. Now these are all draining into either to the basal veins, great cerebral vein or sigmoid vein, sigmoid sinus. That is how the venous drainage of the brain occurs. Now the applied part, individual vessel, we have already discussed. Now this in common, the cerebrovascular accident or stroke can be caused by either bleeding or the blockage. Now blockage or thrombosis, it can affect major blockage, or major infarct can affect the major vessels, or it could be smaller vessels, or the branches of the individual cerebral arteries. Now it can affect the carotid artery, basilar artery, individual cerebral artery, that is anterior, middle, posterior cerebral arteries, or branches of the cerebral arteries. Now another cause is the bleeding or hemorrhage. Especially very common is the rupture of Berry aneurysm. It can cause subarachnoid hemorrhage, or if the internal vessels are affected, deeper arteries are affected, that is the central branches are affected, it can cause intracerebral hemorrhage. Now this rupture of superficial cerebral veins can cause subdural hemorrhage because of its long course in the subdural space. So that is all about the blood supply of central nervous system. In that you may get circle of Willis as a separate note or short note, or you could get the blood supply of brain as a whole question. In that the arterial as well as venous drainage you have to explain. In that case you have to describe the circle of Willis, the vessels contributing its formation, the branches, the central as well as the cortical branches you have to explain. You need to learn the diagram of circle of Willis, the diagram, three surfaces of the cerebrum for arterial, and at least two for the venous drainage. Thank you.